times practice. But and I think the first time I really met Roy, we went down to Baja together. I think Chad and I were maybe junior year, and we went down to Rancho Leonardo or Buena Vista or somewhere, and they convinced us after the first day, after they caught a 270-pounder, that we needed to go on the bigger boat. And the next day, Roy came back with a marlin hanging off side to side of the boat, about a 500-pounder or so. I think he was claiming at the end it was 18 feet long, but it might be a stretch. But I always liked going to Roy's office so I could see that picture. And always when you went to his office, you felt very at ease. And I played around with Cord and Chad a lot, so I ended up under the knife a few times after surgeries. And I think he did a pretty good job, but I never got enough rest before they Chad and Cord re-injured again. So, usually playing volleyball, so don't go play volleyball against them. And then, we just all started camping together, and it was a good excuse to get out of the house and away from the wicked stepmother and Chad having to vacuum another day. But it taught him some good domestic responsibilities. Kept him out of trouble. And so we like to get away to the mountains, and that was our escape. And Roy would always put together quite a field of characters for these camping events. And just you felt very lucky. A lot of these guys and younger kids too had never had the opportunity to. Well, I mean, still many people have never experienced camping like this. I mean, Roy would unpack an entire truckload of gear. And the amount of food was just ridiculous. We probably had consumed 4 or 5 pounds every time. Elk and venison and caribou, and he had it all. And so it was quite an event, camping out at Mexican Hay Lake. And so those are beautiful times and experiences. And we had some great trips up in Alaska together with Captain Jack, and it was good times. I don't know if we had any of the pictures, but I got to see Roy a couple years ago when Fisher was still in the oven. And although Roy, he couldn't tell the stories and elaborate and like he used to, I'm sure in his mind he could. But every time I talked about the stories, his eyes lit up, and so we always had those experiences. And even though some of the stories were a little far-fetched and a little made up, that's just the Gettel way, I think. But they were good stories. That wasn't my plan in Europe. And so trips to, I got invited all over, so I'm very grateful for that. He's just a very generous guy, very warm at heart. He had this charisma that was just magic, and I'm sure all his patients saw it and everyone else, and he just put you at ease, and he was quite a character. Definitely one of the most favorite people and adults I've ever met. He was just quite a guy, and we'll miss him. But his legacy will live on, and his legend, and I'll be telling Fisher about the great Roy Gettel and the camping and the fishing stories and places we went. So, okay, I guess that's about it.